You ever try to make a big decision when you're really stressed out and later you're like, why did I say that? Why did I pick that? Or maybe you've been in an argument and you said something that you didn't really mean because in the moment you were heated, your heart was racing. Your brain wasn't exactly thinking clearly. Here's the thing that nobody really tells you. Your body makes the decision before your brain ever even has a chance to think it through. And if you don't learn to regulate before you run, regulate before you reason, ground before you go, you'll keep making choices that don't feel like you. You'll keep making choices that sabotage where you're trying to go. You'll keep making choices from survival mode rather than from a place of being in alignment with the outcomes that you really want and that you really deserve. And ultimately, you'll keep wondering why life feels like it's running instead of it being the other way around. And when we don't ground before we go and when we don't regulate before we reason, it's essentially our emotions running the show as opposed to us being in charge. So, why is it that we can end up moving without thinking? Why do we keep moving without thinking? When you're in survival mode, when survival mode has been activated, your nervous system is wired to move first, take action first, and think about it later, if not never. This isn't your fault. This is biology that if no one has taught you how to work with, then it just runs the show. And I know for certain that nobody taught me about this. I was on a search to figure out why I am the way I am. Why do I do things that I later regret? Why is it that I just feel out of control or frozen or stuck or trapped in patterns that I can't seem to think my way out of? And this is just biology. And the thing is, your ancestors, my ancestors, they didn't have time to make a pros and cons list when a wild animal showed up, okay? This is literally just biology. We need a nervous system. We need a threat detection system that tells us we have to run, that keeps us safe. We need that, okay? The only issue is sometimes, well, really, when you've been in survival mode for a long time, that system adapts in ways that don't necessarily serve us, and it gets conditions to always be scanning for a threat when maybe there isn't one. And this is why if we don't ground before we go, or if we don't regulate before we respond, that system can become a little bit faulty and then take over in ways that don't serve us. So all of that to say, that same biological system is in you. But now the wild animal might be a text from your boss, a fight with your partner, an unexpected bill, or even just a loud noise that reminds you of something bad. And your body doesn't distinguish the difference, doesn't know the difference between a lion in the grass or a snake in the grass and a passive aggressive email or a certain tone. It just sees threat and it goes, go. Now, you might know this feeling and recognize how it shows up if you say things that you regret later because you felt pressured in the moment. Maybe you said yes when you really meant no. Or maybe you start problem solving the second that something feels even just a little bit off without pausing, without stopping to check in. Or maybe you just go all in on a new idea and then you burn out on that idea a week later. Or maybe you just can't relax until the problem is handled, or even if handling it means rushing into a half-baked, half-thought-out solution. If you've done any of these, any combination of these, I certainly know that I have. You've been running on reasoning before regulating. You've been running on going before grounding, okay? And this is what the actual problem is. But most people think the problem is I need to be more disciplined. I need to stop procrastinating. I need to just think things through better. But here's the real problem. Again, you're trying to use logic within a body that still thinks it's in danger, okay? When your body feels unsafe, your brain's higher functions of reason go offline. Your survival brain takes over and it springs you into action without thinking things through all the way. And it really only has three states that it can choose when it feels that threat. It can try to fight the situation, which looks like arguing or trying to control or force things. It can either run from the situation, flight, which is avoiding, escaping, or distracting, or it could fawn and freeze, which means it shuts you down, you stall out, you disappear. Now, these are the three options. And with that being said, when your body feels unsafe, it's going to go through one of those three different modes. So you can try all of the productivity hacks that you want, but if your body isn't regulated, your brain isn't going to follow through the way that you want to. And this is the point that I'm trying to drive home. So here's why regulate before you run matters. Every big mistake that you've ever made while stressed out probably made perfect sense in the moment. That's because stress hijacks you don't just think differently. In the moment, you are different. It's not the real you. Think about the last time that you felt anxious. Did you think clearer, or were your thoughts scattered all over the place? Were you patient, or were you snappy and short? Were you focused on the big picture, or were you just trying to make the discomfort stop? If we don't pause to regulate first, we're not making choices. We're not making decisions. We're just reacting. And reactions often cost us way more than just a couple moments of slowing down, just a couple moments to regulate before we reason. Now, regulate before you run. Let's talk about that. Running isn't always literal, and I don't mean literally when I say that, but it's literally any quick action that you take to fix some examples. You send that angry text right away because you just can't sit with the feeling that it brought up in you, and you got to do something about it. Or maybe you say yes to plans that you don't really want to say yes to. Or maybe you quit something in a rush, like too soon. Or maybe you buy something that you can't afford just to feel better. Okay, what I want you to do instead is try and catch and notice the urge to act fast. Because again, if you're acting fast, you probably aren't thinking. It's probably not reason. So name what you're feeling in your body in that moment. Your heart is racing. Your shoulders feel like tense and tight, and they're like up in your ears, right? Or maybe your breath is shallow. And give yourself 60 to 90 seconds to calm your system down before moving. That 90 seconds is often enough for that chemical surge to pass, that chemical biological response to pass, okay? And after that, you can choose with a much clearer head, a much more values-aligned decision and action. Now, let's talk about regulate before you reason, okay? Reasoning sounds smart, but not if you're reasoning from a place of fear or from survival mode. When you're in fight or flight, your brain filters what information you notice. That means that you see more threats. That means that you see fewer options. And that means that everything feels urgent, even though it might not be. This is why you make lists, but you still feel overwhelmed. This is why you argue like your life literally depends on it and you fight to be right. This is why you logic yourself into a corner and out of action. Instead, pause before solving the problem. Regulate with your breath or with some movement. Do something that's grounding. Let your body feel safe enough for your brain to think a little bit more wide, to think a little bit more broad, not just quickly. Now, what do I when I say ground before you go? This honestly is favorite one because sometimes you do need to take action, but how you start matters, and the state from which you begin that action matters. Grounding means that you're connected to the present. Your feet are underneath you and you feel balanced. Your mind and your body are in sync. You know what's real, not just what you might fear coming up. So before you get into action, plant your feet on the floor, on the ground, or feel the weight of your body in your chair before you send the email or before you respond. Take 3 slow breaths in through the nose and exhale through the mouth. And just take that moment to remind yourself, I am going to move at my own pace. I'm going to take this at my own pace, and I am safe to do. And then you take the next step. Regulation isn't about just avoiding mistakes. It's about expanding what's possible, creating more possibility, leaning into and experiencing better outcomes. When your body is calm, options that you couldn't see before when you were stressed out or anxious, you come up with better ideas. You feel so much more confident in your choices, and those choices are more aligned. And you actually enjoy the process, whatever process that you're in, instead of rushing to just get everything over with. Some people seem lucky or naturally calm. And as someone who comes off as naturally calm and generally am, I just want to say I'm not better than you and they're not better than you. No one's better than you, okay? They're just regulated enough to make the choices that line up with what they actually want. And they can do that consistently. And so can you when you regulate and when you have the quick tools to do. And so I want to share with you some ways to regulate before you run, regulate before you reason, and ground yourself before you go. The first one is very simple, and it's called box breathing. And what box breathing is, you inhale for 4, you hold it for 4, and then you exhale for 4, and you do that 4 times. That's it. Very simple, not gonna overtalk it. Now there's 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 grounding. And all that is you look at 5 things that you notice, 5 things that you can see. Find 4 things that you can touch, and you can be included in that, okay? Try to notice 3 things that you can hear close to you or maybe off in the distance. Try to smell 2 things, and try to notice 1 thing that you can taste, okay? And just doing that alone is bringing you out of that fight or flight survival response and giving your brain the chance to catch up so that you can think and actually reason, okay? Now, the next one is to just shake it out. And all that literally means is shake it out. Now, I have the mic in my hands, but I'm going to move it away. And you're just going to, with your hands and with your feet for like 30 seconds. And then you're just going to take a slow, deep breath in. And that's letting your body know that, hey, the danger has passed. We're good. These aren't like woo-woo strategies, even though they might feel like it. This is just basic biology. And this is how you tell your nervous system it's safe to think now. It's safe to slow down and make a better decision. So how do you actually apply this to your everyday life? Well, before a tough conversation, don't rehearse your talking points right away. Breathe, ground yourself, then speak. Take your time. Before replying to a stressful text or a frustrating email, walk away for 2 minutes. Shake your body as you walk away, and then come back. Before you make an impulsive purchase, ground your feet, breathe slowly, and ask yourself, do I believe that I'm still going to want this in 24 hours or in a week from now? Before saying yes to a side quest or someone else's request of you, take a deep breath in and say, let me think about it. Give yourself time to actually think about and check what it is that you actually want, and check that this request, if you say yes to it, is in alignment with your values and ultimately the outcomes that you're looking to create. Now, what happens if you don't take care of this? If you keep running and trying to reason through your life without regulating first, your life stays in reaction mode. You stay in patterns. You stay in cycles. You end up stuck. Without regulating, your life just stays in permanent reaction mode. You keep feeling off in your choices or falling off from the choices that you made. You burn out faster. And you never truly get to enjoy what you worked so hard for. You also, after a while, start to lose trust in yourself again because you fall off the decisions that you made from survival mode. And, you watch yourself long enough making moves that don't match who you want to be, and you can't seem to stop, like that hurts your self-trust and that hurts your confidence over time. So, wrapping this video up, learning to regulate first isn't only about like being slower, like this channel is about slowing down, but it's also just about being steady, being calm, being grounded. Imagine trying to shoot your shot while shaking. You can aim all you want, but until you steady that aim, until you steady your body that's holding the gun or holding the bow and arrow, the shot's not going to land. It's the same thing with your overall life. Steady yourself first, regulate yourself first, then move, then make the pivot, then take the action. So the next time that you feel the urge to just act fast, to just jump in, I hope that you remember 3 things. Regulate before you run, regulate before you reason, and ground before you go. My name is Sid Scott. Thanks for watching another video. If this was helpful, drop a comment, let me know. If you liked it, consider subscribing. I make videos about these types of topics 3 times a week. And if you want to experience applying some of these things that we talk about to your own life and your own system, if you'd like some support with coaching, you can go to my YouTube profile and there's a link right there to sign up. And with that being said, I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.